What's going on, everybody? UltimatDjz here. Hi, how are you? I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying, what's up? And welcome into ArcFall September Lower Decks Part 1. Yeah, that's where we're at. We're at Lower Decks Part 1. They say it's Part 1, which means that implies that there's going to be more than one part. Now listen, I need everybody to take a deep breath. Let's get some fresh air here. Let's get some fresh air. Whew, need some air. Whew. All right, everybody breathe. Woo, so everybody grab a drink. Grab a drink. Yeah, grab a drink and woo-saw, everybody. There's a lot to talk about here, and we're going to break into it, all right? First of all, Lower Decks Part 1 is here, and with it comes 3 new officers. 3, except there are no rares, and there are no uncommons. No commons, either. They're all 3 epics, everybody. All 3 epics. So very, very unusual, but their abilities are kind of boss mode, right? So when we read some of these numbers to you, your first reaction is going to be about the isolytic numbers, but remember, these are cascade, and therefore not only add huge bonuses, but also multiply your existing bonuses by these numbers as well. This has been a huge part of our teaching over the last couple of weeks, so do kind of keep that in mind. First, we're going to pop up with Epic Carol Freeman, all right? She has a captain's maneuver, which is to increase shots by 100% at combat start. Very simple. Sounds kind of like strike team, right? A strike team captain. The officer ability is a little bit different, though. If the enemy player has any state, this would include hull breach, this would include burning, or even assimilate. Remember, morale is on your ship and not the enemy ship. So if your enemy target has any state, then she will increase your isolytic cascade bonus by 60% at Tier 1. 60% at Tier 1, and she's going to scale all the way up to 130% at Tier 5. This is absolutely wicked. I mean, crazy damage bonuses. Remember, if you have, say, 20% isolytic damage in artifacts and researches, this is going to multiply it. Even by Tier 1, it's going to multiply it by a 60% bonus and then add the 60%, making your total isolytic 92% isolytic damage output. This is stackable also with 7 of 9's below deck abilities. So let's say you got a Tier 1 7 and a Tier 1 Freeman. They combine for a 72% isolytic cascade, making your original 20% in artifacts and research now up to 106.4%. Absolutely huge. Big, huge. So how are you going to defend against this, right? With our other 2 epics, specifically their below deck abilities. I'll explain. First, we've got Epic Commander Jack Ransom. Here he is right here. His below deck ability, let me start with that first. His below deck ability is if he's on an interceptor and the target has hull breach, he will increase your isolytic defense by 40% at Tier 1. That'll scale up to 100% at Tier 5. Here's that slide right here. 100% at Tier 5. So if he is present on the below deck, then he's adding some of that defensive isolytic mitigation. However, his officer ability is not on an interceptor, but rather on an explorer. So you're going to have to choose where to use these officers. If that explorer has morale, Ransom will increase isolytic cascade damage by the same exact amount as Freeman, 60% at Tier 1 and 130% at Tier 5. He is only good on an explorer, though, with morale. So he's meant, maybe it feels like, to sub in for a member of the explorer strike team. Maybe say Ikataka, because terrible, right? Guess what? You're not going to lose anything from Wei-Un or his synergy because Jack Ransom will synergize with Wei-Un the exact same way Ikataka did. Isn't that crazy? Our third and final epic this month is going to be Chief Engineer Andy Billups. Here he is. He is the exact same thing. His below deck ability is if on a battleship and the enemy is burning. He will increase isolytic defense by the exact same figures, 40% at Tier 1, 100% at Tier 5. And his bridge officer abilities are similar as well, except he's for the interceptor strike team if the enemy has hull breach, and of course will synergize with Ducat. Woo! PvP is about to be turned upside down, I'd say, with these new, basically call them strike team officers. One may even suggest that there's an entirely new strike team here. We'll call it the alternative strike team, allowing you potentially now to actually fly 2 strike teams, one traditional with Ransom or Billups, and potentially one with Freeman and a few other traditional PvP officers, maybe like Honor Guard Worf or Lorca. What does sourcing look like? Well, let's take a look at what the month holds for the first time we've ever had 3 epic officers. First, bad news, right, for the event store that will be forthcoming at the end of this season. These are all epics, so that's not good for event store sourcing this coming go-round, which is going to give Bubba Joe more ammunition for the event store conversation that we just had last week. However, all right, sourcing will continue to be nice in its launch month, but strategic. And what I mean by that is that completion of the $20 Battle Pass will guarantee 100% full unlock of Carol Freeman. That's right, $20 Battle Pass, everybody can have her. All right, that's it. No materials, crazy, and all that stuff. $20 completion of the Battle Pass will unlock Carol Freeman, Tier 1. Boom, there you go. Epic for $20. All right, so everybody's going to get the alternative Strike Team Captain for only $20 with completion of the Battle Pass. P.S., by the way, promotion time. You want to win one? Be sure to be subbed to this channel. Click on that subscribe button. Comment on this video right down below. And coming up this Sunday, September the 10th, we will draw 5 winners of Battle Pass unlocks straight from the comments down below. So be sure to be subbed to the channel and leave your comments, and we'll draw for those later this week. Sourcing for Billups and Ransom are going to be tighter, but still possible. So what they're going to do is have a traditional solo leaderboard, just like we've always seen, paired with the same heroic milestones that we saw last month. But there's only going to be 1 weekend dedicated to each officer. So if you want to do Billups, you'll have 1 weekend to do it. If you want to do Ransom, you'll have 1 weekend to do it. Weekend 3 is a mystery, and they have not shared with me what will happen in week 3 or who it will feature, or if they have one at all. But if you can't do it twice, then plan carefully on which strike team you want to enhance and go all in on that weekend. That will be the only guaranteed chance. All right, so what else is coming this month? Well, we have a brand new ship. Yes, indeed, we do. A brand new ship. And if I could get my computer to load the right thingies, then I will have the new ship ready to show you. It's coming. There it is. Woo. That was tough. It's called the Monavine. All right, the Monavine. It is a 12-tiered ship. It will unlock at Ops 40. It goes all the way through Ops 60. It does come with a new hostile, a new passive ability for that hostile, a new loop, a new refinery, and all the fun things that new ships usually bring. Oh, and there's a new solo armada, too. Yes. There will be free-to-play sourcing coming up, not this month, all right? So they're going to tell us a little bit more about the free-to-play sourcing loop coming up in a later update. The passive ability, of course, as I mentioned, is a damage boost against these new Texas-class hostiles and solo armadas, and it will have a new research tree that comes with it and some field training missions as well. Some of these new researches are Monavine-specific, including warp range, isolytic defense against the Texas-class hostiles, and notice what I said, isolytic defense against the new Texas-class hostiles, meaning, yes, they will be throwing isolytic damage at you. Other generic researches include fleet-wide researches for efficiency, for research, for materials, gas, crystal, and ore for research, increasing armada loot, and broken ship parts from hostiles, just to name a few. So what does the new loop look like? Well, this is it. We're going to use the Monavine to go and explore these new systems. We're going to kill the Texas-class hostiles. We're going to get this new loot that it's going to drop. We're going to take that loot into the refinery. It's going to source us solo directives and some resources. Okay, then we're going to use the directives against the automated shipyard, which are the solo armadas. We're going to do those. Then we're going to get that loot, and then we're going to bring it back in, and down here we're getting resources from the hostiles. Up here we're going to redeem that loot for materials, gas, crystal, and ore. And it all just keeps on going in a nice, pretty circular loop with more hostiles and more armadas More armadas. More armadas. Yeah. Woo. 2 new primes are coming this month. Nothing else to say, right? 2 new primes are coming this month, including this one right here. This is called Fleet Commander Gift. It's going to get you guaranteed 2 rare skill points per day and improve the rewards in your daily Fleet Commander claims, including extra Fleet Commander shards. There's also going to be a brand new prime called Station Siege, improving damage against bases. Whatever. There will be a new refit coming. This refit actually does look a little bit interesting. Let me see if I can find that one. I thought I had it. Yeah, there is a new refit coming for Voyager. This refit actually does look interesting because it's going to unlock a new refinery claim in the Voyager refinery that will contain extra deuterium, extra biotoxins, and a chance at a Delta Quadrant warp cell. That is coming up this month as well. There are some pretty cool new avatars and some new hailing frequencies. Let me show you a couple of them real quick. Here's a cool new frame that's coming. I actually really kind of like the frame. Here's a new hailing frequency with the dog. But I mean, the dog kind of freaks out and, there's bats and we got a ransom hailing frequency that's coming into the game, and that is the ransom floating space head. We've got some avatars, ransom avatars, Texas class avatars, all kinds of stuff that will be coming into the game. Here's another frame for you to look at. It looks a little bit like royalty, maybe from Andy Billups' mom. There's going to be some interesting storylines this month as well. Guys, that is Lower Decks Part 2/Part 1. All right. I say Part 2/Part 1 because Part 1 this is the second time, and it's the first month. So Part 2 subsection A, Alpha. That is ArcFall. We will be doing a Talking in Cars with DJs coming up later this morning with myself and special guest Emperor Echo. We'll be here to answer your questions and talk a little bit about that. In the meantime, I shall bid you farewell. My name is UltimatDjz. Live long and prosper. Thank you very much for watching our content. Be sure to subscribe down below. Don't forget to leave those comments for the Battle Pass giveaway. While you're here, give us a likey, thumbs up, and click on the little bell so you know when we do more content. We would very much appreciate you sharing this with your alliance mates and your friends and, people who don't play the game and, anybody else who wants to watch it on repeat. That would be very, very helpful. Thank you so much. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Love you, mean it. Catch you on the next one. Bye, guys. Pieces. Yay!